What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Sioux Falls Regional Airport for the 63rd airport update for the month of April 2025. We've got a loaded update, a full terminal, diversion, new model, and other fun things happening at the airport this month, because that is how FSD likes to roll right now. Starting off at Gate 1, we have this Frontier A321neo. These aircraft are starting to make a regular appearance at FSD once again, which is great to see. This flight is from Friday, April 18th. The rest of them, with another exception, are from Saturday, April 19th. This A321neo arrived in from Denver as Flight 2108 at 1:43 p.m., delayed from 1:36 p.m. scheduled arrival, just behind by 7 minutes. As for Frontier from Denver, it will be a twice-weekly service next month, Monday and Friday, and they will add 2 additional frequencies for a 4 times weekly service by the end of the month and into June. So good to see the frequencies popping back up for Frontier out of Denver into FSD. And now we move on to American Eagle, the Embraer 175 at the 3B apron today. This arrived in from DFW as Flight 3946, operated by Envoy. And this arrived in at a 1:11 p.m., delayed from a 12:59 p.m. scheduled arrival, delayed by 12 minutes. As for DFW mainline, it will be coming back next month. May 5th, the first frequency returns, and then the second frequency will return the next day on May the 6th. And then there will be that third flight, which will be on the Embraer 175 as well, so that will stay with us through the summer. And here is another diversion, the second straight month that we've had one. This American 737-800 came in on Sunday, April 20th from, or it was intended for Minneapolis, but it came in from DFW, fittingly enough, as Flight 2104, November 825, November, parked here at Gate 3. And this flight got delayed to about 6 a.m. the next morning. So this is the third straight update with the diversion, because Des Moines last week we had the A220, the Rapid City update on Monday we had the 3 A319s for United, and then that 7700 with the United Express CRJ200. So crazy stuff going on here, and then this American 738 weather-related diversion, which was the only one that diverted here. Only aircraft that diverted from MSP because of weather, because it looked like it was just light rain and everybody else was going into the airport just fine. So not sure what enticed the American Airlines crew here to divert to Sioux Falls, but hey, we'll take American 737. Hopefully it becomes a regular staple in the future, especially when we do get more demand for this service. Now moving to Gate 5, we have another appearance by this American Eagle Embraer 145. Coming in from Chicago O'Hare as Flight 5986. This is a Piedmont-operated flight arriving in at 11:41 a.m. ahead of a scheduled 11:51 a.m. arrival. 2 United aircraft for this update, at the terminal at least. There is a third one that we'll take a look at a little later here. I do need to move this iPad out of the way once again, because I have like no space for it on the diorama anymore, so putting it off to the right side this time, so that way the back of the diorama here is nice and clear of any obstructions with my iPad, which has all my information. Down at Gate 7, we have our United Mainline service for this update, which is the A319. This came in from Denver as Flight 645 at 9 p.m., delay from an 8:30 p.m. scheduled arrival, exactly 30 minutes of a delay here. United now going to the 738 for mainline, because as I talked about last month, and also in the special airport update, it was on the 737-700 from Chicago, but it looks like now they are moving, well, at least for one day, on Sunday the 20th, it is a 738, and then it'll go right back to the 700 for at least the foreseeable future. So it's just something to note there with that service. And then moving up, we do have this SkyWest CRJ700, which is I guess a United flight or an American flight, I don't know, because FlightRadar was labeling this as an American flight, but then the flight number was a United one. So I'm going with the United here, which is why it's parked at Gate 6, so definitely more of a United flight. So it looks like some of the SkyWest 700s are now going to United here as they kind of cycle around between the carriers, which is pretty easy to do because it's just the house livery SkyWest CRJ700. So super happy that Gemini made this back in 2021, almost 4 years ago now. So crazy how time flies. This arrived in as flight 5458 at 10:31 a.m. heavy scheduled 10:39 a.m. arrival. And our last aircraft at the terminal, we do have a Delta Connection aircraft at Gate 4 this time. We do have our mainline services, which we'll cover here in just a moment. But parked at Gate 4, this Delta Connection Embraer 175 with the short winglets this time. Technically a 170 because it is a little bit shorter than the 175 IRL. But this aircraft arrived in from Minneapolis, this flight 3926, a SkyWest operated flight at 3:34 p.m. heavy scheduled 3:37 p.m. arrival. So there is the terminal, looking good as ever. Love to see the Frontier 321neo, that American diversion despite the inconveniences it might cause, and the SkyWest CRJ 700 for a special livery. It's been a while since I've had it in an FSD update. I can't recall the last time I had it in one of these videos, but good to use it either way. And now moving over to the hard stand, this aircraft taxiing here because Gate 6 is currently occupied on the diorama. This CRJ 700 for United Express came in from Denver as flight 4759, a SkyWest operated flight at 12:33 p.m. heavy scheduled 12:37 p.m. arrival. Good to use this model for both the GoJet and the SkyWest services since it's basically the same on the outside, minus the registration. So now, as I move the tripod ever so slightly back, we have a couple more aircraft taxiing in. We've got a nice conga line going on here, making some references over here. First up, we have this Allegiant A320 coming in from Phoenix Mesa as flight 2264, and this ride in at 10:17 a.m. heavy scheduled 10:48 a.m. arrival. Now, I've talked about Phoenix Mesa and Vegas being our predominantly like very heavy Allegiant routes. And as for Phoenix Mesa, as we move into May, it's basically an almost daily service. 3 of the 4 Tuesdays and then 1 Wednesday for May is when the service will not operate, and predominantly a once daily service. And a couple days where they would send it in twice daily, but it looks like for May, it is just a once daily service. That will continue to grind as always. And now we move into our main line. So we've got both the 320 and 319 here today. Our Atlanta service got upgauged to a 320 on Friday, April 19th. So putting both of my Delta mainline aircraft to good use for the Airbuses. This A320 arrived in as flight 2615, no change to the flight number. Arriving at 11:23 p.m., heavy scheduled 11:46 p.m. arrival. Now, as for my plans for Airliners International, no, I am not doing this flight. I am not taking the direct Delta flight for 2 reasons. Number 1, the timing, as you see, because it arrives in basically before midnight. I think it's like the last flight of the night before the airport terminal closes, so I'm not going to do this flight just based on the timing. And then the second is pricing, because there's no competition on our Atlanta route, so this route typically is in the $200 to $300 price range. So if I'm going to be spending that much just getting to Atlanta for this convention, I might as well just see if I can do something special. So we'll figure that out a little later on, but for now, we'll just enjoy the current time as we are about 60 days away from the big show happening once more. So as we move on, we have this Delta A319 coming in from Minneapolis. This flight 1694. Arriving in at 10:32 p.m., heavy scheduled 10:57 p.m. arrival. So same case with this MSP service. Arrives in super late for the main line, and then we have like 3 or 4 daily regional jet services, so trying to connect through MSP on the way back, I just don't think that would work either, because again, the price on these Delta flights, not very affordable for someone who's trying to travel on a budget. But to end off this update, we have a brand new model, and I got it specifically for the purpose of this video. The Atlas Air 767-300. The passenger variant, I accidentally labeled it as a freighter, but that's not the case. It is a passenger 767. So this arrived in as flight 8895 from Portsmouth, New Hampshire at 10:11 p.m., delay from a 9:37 p.m. scheduled arrival on April 7th. So just over about 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago now. So this flight was one of these true transport flights that we get every once in a blue moon. They just like to show up out of nowhere. So this originated from Sofia Airport in Bulgaria, and then flew from Sofia to Frankfurt Hahn Airport, then to Portsmouth, then to Sioux Falls, and then it went to Fairchild Air Force Base in Spokane, Washington, and then to Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, before terminating there the next day on April 8th. So quite an elaborate route that this aircraft took, and again, not exactly sure why this service would have taken place, but hey, there you go. Awesome that we did get the Atlas Air 76 if it was for troop transport, but pretty confident that it was based on what I did find. So great to have some variety here and a great model to add to the collection, because I was thinking about getting this a while ago because I did spot this exact airframe contrailing over Sioux Falls a couple years ago. I think it was right around the time that Gemini actually did release this model, but I did not get it initially since I didn't really have much of a need for an Atlas Air 767. But now I do, so happy to have this, and it is a great model and a great way to round off this month's Sioux Falls Regional Airport Update, our 63rd for April of 2025. Great variety once again, love the mixture of the mainline and the regionals, the diversion, new model, and exciting mainline stuff happening all throughout. So Sioux Falls is going to be busy once again. We again need that terminal expansion to happen now. Probably yesterday would have been even better, but hey, I don't have control over that. So we'll see if that changes, but no news on the terminal expansion right now, so can't report on anything. But hopefully you enjoyed this month's Sioux Falls Airport Update. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.